God is given. Even when my worldly fortune shifts, I am abundant in spirit. I focus on the goodness of God and know prosperity. Well, we're going to do a call and response chant, and I'm going to call and you're going to respond. And that'll take us into our meditation. So. I am in your presence. Cleanse and purify my mind. I am one with all. I am one with all. Kindness and love flow through me. I see only love. Where there is
Good morning, everyone. The promotion blurb that I gave to the advertising person this week was derived from a recent song that I heard. Basically, the song is saying, "We were made for these days. We are in the right place at the right time. God doesn't make mistakes. God called us to this time. We can heal these days." That's the basic message of the song that I took the blurb to promote this talk this morning. But think about that. We are in the right place at the right time. We can heal these times. Pretty positive ideal. But how? Considering that our mankind is presently engulfed in evil throughout the world. So how can we heal these days? Can we heal them directly? There seems to be a lot of effort in attempting to do that. Has been forever. I believe that we can only heal them indirectly. We can heal our minds. This is the only way that we can heal human evil. Consider this from the universal truth. This is the universal truth of the divine Christ. Can we have this first PowerPoint, please? You can read this in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, 38 to 41. "You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say to you, do not resist one who is evil." And in some of your Gospels, it is do not resist evil. I want to stay with that. He goes on to say the different things that the people of that historic time were experiencing that they considered evil, and how you turn the other cheek, but you don't resist evil. So we can take that down. I just want to focus on the idea of resist not evil. Consider the deeper truth if you haven't already. When a person exercises with barbells, what is the result? The muscles grow larger, stronger. Why? Because of resistance. It's the resistance that causes the muscles to grow and respond. When you have an itch and you scratch it, what is the result? The itch responds even stronger. Resistance to the itch causes it to respond even stronger. And how are we to understand the resistance Listen carefully to this. The resistance created by the war on drugs. How is that gone for us? How has the resistance on the war on poverty, how is that gone for us or for the world? How about the resistance on cancer? How is that gone for the medical profession? How about the resistance on racial inequality? How about the resistance on banning assault weapons? How is all that gone? The resistance that we put against it, the people that are resisting it. How is it all gone so far? How about the resistance against political deception, deceit? Look at where it's gone. Talk about the Supreme Court. These people are paid to be even-minded. They get paid a fairly decent salary. So what about resistance to deception in the political arena? How well has that gone? What about the resistance against Hamas in Gaza? How has that gone? And yet the words come down to us from the universal consciousness. Resist not evil. How can we deal with that? There seems to be some truth in the whole concept that resistance only creates or gives power to that which you are resisting. Let's consider this universal ideal. Resist not evil. I will share with you a deep truth, once again, from the universal divine consciousness. I'm going to be reading from chapter 22 in the book of Matthew, starting with verse 15. Then the Pharisees went and took counsel how to entangle him, Jesus, in his talk. And they sent their disciples to him, saying, Teacher, we know that you are true and teach the way of God truthfully, and have no regard for man's point of view, for you do not regard the position of men. Tell us then what you think. Is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Teacher, we know that you are true and teach the way of God truthfully, and have no regard for the position of men. Tell us then, is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar? If you think of this from a strictly historic perspective, you see how they are attempting to entrap him. Historically speaking, if he says no, the people, the chosen people of God, should not be paying any tribute at all to Caesar. And then they've got reason to turn him in and have him crucified. But this is what the master of universal consciousness has to say. Can we have this on the PowerPoint, please? But Jesus, aware of their malice, said, Why put me to the test, you hypocrites? Show me the money for the tax. And they brought him a coin. And Jesus said to them, "Whose likeness and inscription is this?" They said, "Caesar's." Then he said to them, "Render therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." When they heard it, they marveled, and they left him and went away. Can we take that back again, please? But Jesus, aware of their malice, said, "Why put me to the test, you hypocrites? Show me the money for the tax." And they brought him a coin. And Jesus said to them, "Whose likeness and inscription is this?" They said, "Caesar's." Then he said to them, "Render therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." When they heard it, they marveled, and they left him and went away. Do you think that the ideals being expressed in this New Testament that have come down through the ages, what do you think about a carpenter's son who said, "My words will never pass away"? Never. Heaven and earth could pass away, but my words never. Now we have these words. Are these words attempting to point out to everyone who reads them some historic event where the hypocrites tried to trap him? Or are these words universal in scope, providing a message for anyone and everyone who would read these words? To go deeper into the reality of life and its teaching, the school in which we find ourselves, we have to be deeply introspective. What is the only coin we human beings have to give? What is the only coin we human beings have to give? Our attention. The only thing anyone has is his or her attention. What you give your attention to is what you are seeking to possess. That's it. And some people unwittingly are giving their attention to things that they really wouldn't want to possess, but they are ignorant of the fact that the one power that a human being has in all of his life is the attention he has, she has, and to what he or she is giving it. So we have Caesar. Who is Caesar? He is the god of the world. That's who he is, the reigning god. In fact, Caesar would say, "There are no gods beside me." And so anyone that would say, "Don't render tribute unto Caesar." Listen to how deep and beautiful this truth is if you open yourself to it. If anyone says not to render your attention to the world, at least not so totally. You see, because the problem we human beings have, especially down through the ages, we not only render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, but we render unto Caesar the things that are God's. You want to know what's the problem in the world today? You want to know why we have the evil prevailing why mankind is engulfed in insanity and evil? Do you want to know that? Just look to the depth of human awareness. We are rendering unto Caesar the things that are God's. And we ignore the words of God almost totally. And look at how totally, in response, we render unto Caesar. Look at the mass media we have. And what does it do? What is it paying tribute to? But evil. All of the airways are simply filled with pointing out the evil that is upon us. And what is that doing to us? It is creating resistance to it. We are being manipulated to bestow resistance. And it's what sells soap on all the airways. If they can hook your adrenaline glands and get you upset again about something someone is doing somewhere, some evil, some terrible atrocity, something going on there or here or in the midst of us or in our own political system. What is it all about? It is the madness of the world. So we say, what are we supposed to do? What can we do? We have to become emissaries of divine light. We become emissaries of divine consciousness by taking to task our own awareness. There's an ancient story given by an ancient rabbi named Yankala, something or other. And his disciples came to him at a time when Israel was beset with enemies and evil all around them. And the disciples said, Rabbi, what do we do about all this evil, this darkness that is upon our people? You see, evil is always equated with darkness. And he said to his disciples, I want you to go down into the cellar with brooms and sweep out the darkness. And of course they couldn't. He said, well, go down into the cellar and then beat the darkness out of the cellar. And they couldn't do it. And he said, go down there and protest and shout at it, get it out of there. And of course they couldn't do it. And when they realized they couldn't do it, the rabbi said to them, why don't each of you just light a candle? Each of you has a candle. Light it. And when they did that, the darkness left the cellar. What are the masters of life that have gone and taken their consciousness to task so totally? They surrendered their physical lives for the truth that they discovered, and they have set it out there to try to heal humanity. You are the light of the world. Let your light so shine. How do we do that? We cannot give tribute. We cannot give our attention so totally to the evil that is propagated over and over again in our world, propagated and actually glorified. We have to take on a spiritual practice so that we may not be involved in resisting evil. And anyone that takes to task his or her awareness will discover that there is a new level of awareness. There's a divine level of consciousness that comes into us when we begin to release our focused attention on the evil around us. You see, in order to be able to enter into that which is referred to as the kingdom of God, which is the consciousness of God, we have to open our minds to this higher level of awareness. And it requires faith to step out and start to do that, to take to task one's own awareness. So that in the process of living, because we are karma yogis, we don't withdraw into a convent or an ashram or a monastery to try to free ourselves from the distractions of the world and the propagation of evil and how powerful it is. We don't do that. We stay in the world. But we withdraw our attention from the world's thinking. We are not taken in by the evil. We do not allow negative thoughts and emotions to find a place in our awareness day in and day out. And here's one of the ways we do that, not just through prayer and meditation. We light, this candle we have, by taking a holy pause. Whenever we become aware of the fact that we are giving in to this whole concept of resisting evil, whenever we have evil thoughts, evil feelings, negative feelings toward anything, anyone, anywhere, whenever we have that rising within us, this is mastery. This is the only mastery. This is the only door to the light of life. This, what I'm saying, is the only door to the light of your true reality, which is divine. This is the only way to take to task your awareness and not to give in to allowing every limited, negative, evil idea to find a place in your awareness so that you respond to it. You resist and respond. You resist and respond. And you complain and you say, oh, it's terrible, and you talk about it. You know, it's not just enough talking in the media. You talk it over and over again. What's going on in Gaza? What's going on in Ukraine? What's going on in the world? What's going on in our political system? How can we have this happening? La, 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 la. It is a confession of the madness of the world. The only out is to see it for what it is. And when the madness is rising within you to create a resistance against anyone, anywhere, you choose peace. You may take action regarding any conditions or circumstances, but you learn how to take action without having inner resistance to that which you are taking action about. Is that possible? Absolutely. Because we're karma yogis and we have the divine within us to aid us in taking a holy pause so that whenever we have negative thoughts and emotions rising within us, we don't just let them go on and on and on and then take negative actions in response with resistance. Why do they even say they talk about forgiveness? They talk today about radical forgiveness. When they talk about peace, they don't just talk about peace, you talk about mystical peace. Peace that is not contingent upon circumstances, not contingent about circumstances meeting anyone's expectations, desires, demands. That's mystical, to have a peace that surpasses the understanding of the entire insane world. That's what we are in the process of doing. If we are seeking the truth that will make us free, that's what we are doing. And what occurs within us? You have insight. In other words, now when you read the Bible and you see passages like the one I just read to you, you're no longer just seeing, well, this is history. It took place a couple of thousand years ago, and it's about the divinity of Jesus. But as you read it, all of a sudden you're pulled in, taken in, because you've decided to be open to the possibility that it is about you. And as you do that, you come to the realization that the only problem human beings have is the problem of separation. The only problem you have is the problem of separation. Say it to yourself. The only problem I have is the problem of the illusion of separation, because separation isn't real. It's not what we were created to involve ourselves with. The illusion of being a separate ego mind in a world of separate other ego minds, in which my personal self-interest must precede me in every situation. I must defend myself. I must make myself safe. I must do whatever I can to glorify this illusionary body encapsulated self, because that's all I know about life. But you were created in the image and likeness of God. That's almost going away now. It has to be brought back. Do you want joy? Do you want love? Do you want health? Do you want happiness? Do you want peace of mind totally? Ask yourself if you really want that, or you really still enjoy the adrenaline diatribe that takes place in human parlance. Just getting angry at somebody together, we're all in this group. That's, we have a reason to be upset. These are the bad guys, they're bad. That glorifies my goodness. It's not going to work. So when you begin to realize that the only problem and the only sin is separation, and it's not real. It's the illusionary initial state of consciousness in which we were born and raised, which had its purpose because we started out thinking of ourselves and defining ourselves as strictly physical bodies in a world of separate physical phenomena, and that was necessary. But the plan of life was that we should travel that idea in this initial state of consciousness and be awake in the process of living and discover there's more to this. Because all these people that are operating from that initial state of consciousness are not finding happiness, they're not finding harmony, they're not finding peace, they're not finding a cure to the evil. Then where is it? It's still within. We still have to go within. We have to become introspective. We have to be able to want something greater, which is to want a relationship with the divine. And in doing that, in discovering all of this, in your practice of the presence of God, in every person, in every place, in every condition, in that practice, you come to the realization that we are interconnected. And that in operating from that awareness that it's all one, it's all God, and it's all sacred, we don't need priests and charlatans and ministers telling us the different things that we do in order to be right with God. Because when you are becoming aware that everything is sacred, no one has to tell you to be forgiving, considerate, loving, serving, truthful. No one has to tell you that. Because the joy that comes from honoring that is your true life. It heals your mind. It heals your life. It heals your relationships. Ultimately, when enough people are embracing that truth, it will heal the world. So I'm going to conclude with this particular passage about oneness from the Course in Miracles. Can we have this next PowerPoint, please? You can read this on page 259 in the Course in Miracles text. That's the old text. You have the new text. I didn't include it in this because I wrote this talk about 2 hours ago. When you accept a brother's guiltlessness, you will see the at-one-ment in him. You're what? You're looking upon guiltlessness. You're not holding anyone accountable in the land of guilt. When you accept a brother or sister's guiltlessness, you will see the at-one-ment in him. For by proclaiming it in him, you make it yours, and you will see what you sought. You will not see the symbol of your brother's guiltlessness shining within him or her while you still believe it is not there. Her guiltlessness is your at-one-ment. Grant it to him or her, and you will see the truth of what you have acknowledged. Yet truth is offered first to be received, even as God gave it first to his Son, who includes everyone taking breath. Can we take this back again, please? When you accept a brother or sister's guiltlessness, you will see the at-one-ment in him. You'll see the majesty of God's presence being revealed in him. For by proclaiming it in him, you make it yours, and you will see what you sought. You will not see the symbol of your brother's guiltlessness shining within him while you still believe it is not there. While you still appeal to the first state of consciousness, the first definition of life, you will not see it. You're blocking Christ consciousness with every limited, negative, loveless thought in your consciousness. You're blocking joy. You're blocking love. You're blocking insight. You're blocking peace. Grant it to him or her, and you will see the truth of what you have acknowledged. Yet truth is offered first to be received. You must offer it first for to know it, even as God gave it first to his Son, that includes everyone who takes breath. Okay. We'll take a few minutes to meditate. An important aspect, what is meditation all about, really? What are you doing when you meditate? You're quieting the incessant thinking of the world we live and carry on our lives in, but the thinking of that world is ever going forward in our consciousness under the auspices of separation. My personal self-interest, my ego-centered idea of life, everything must be saved, defended, glorified. You want that life? Has it paid off? Is it what you're really looking for? Have you ever had a day of true peace, true joy, freedom from fear and worry? Have you ever had a day like that? If you have, you know it is possible to have every day like that. But it requires transiting into the consciousness of God. So take a couple of deep breaths as you release your breath. Release any particular cares or concerns you may be harboring. Just become willing to be sitting here and okay. We are all okay. There's no separate judgmental God. There's only divine healing love. And bring to mind this ideal. Gently bring it to mind. Don't try to fight the incessant thinking of the world that tries to come through. It's okay. Let it come and let it go. Just gently point your awareness to this truth. Separation is the only problem. And it is not real. Recognize the one in all and return to forgiveness and love. Separation is the only problem. And it is not real. Recognize the one in all and return to forgiveness and love. Separation is the only problem, and it is not real. Recognize the one in all and return to forgiveness and love. As we go forth from this meditation to those places we occupy in time and space, let us go forth with a greater determination to be awake in the process of living. For this opportunity in every moment, we give thanks. And to this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. And if there's a handout, I think there is a handout. It has a code on it you can use for PayPal or Venmo. Those of you watching live stream, there's top right-hand corner of your screen, there's a flag you can tag that will give you the different ways you can donate to Unity of Boulder. And here we can bring into our hands this gift we'd like to make to Unity. And let's bless this gift with this offering prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. So it is. Join me now, please. We dedicate this tithe received to the will and the work of the Spirit of truth. The Spirit available to each of us, the Spirit that joins all of us. We dedicate this tithe to the victory of the Spirit of truth. Amen. We will have our group discussion. Anyone like to stay? And you have questions possibly about this talk or unity in general, will not be in Fellowship Hall today. It will be in the bookstore, that auxiliary, that room off the main bookstore. There's a circle of chairs in there if you want to hang out and discuss today's talk or anything to do with unity, then you can go directly to that bookstore.
It's also a gift store. We have incredible gift items, so it's not just books. So check it out if you've never been there. Just go right that way. Okay.
To everyone, have an awakened day.